pressures on the people that are involved. I don't think that's an indictment of his character. It's true that historically there are many cases of law enforcement, especially the FBI, being involved in entrapment and provocation, but this is not the case here. I think that, I mean, I know from his character that Brandon did not do these things, that Brandon did not encourage these people to break the law, and that they did this of their own volition.
And Joe England, how do you know this?
Because I know his character very well. I mean, when you've known someone for many, many years and been close to them, I think you can say with some assurity whether, you know, they would have committed a very serious and duplicitous crime, which it would be if he had actually done this. If you one of the things that keeps coming up as a talking point is the idea that that since Brandon was involved in this investigation before he had met McKay and Crowder, that this somehow proves that he is a provocateur or a professional informant of some sort. This arose, and this is according, I mean, Brandon has not discussed the internals of this case with me for obvious reasons. I think regardless of what we think about Brandon, these two young men deserve an impartial trial, and it doesn't serve them well for us to be blabbering our opinions about the trial and witnesses therein. I wouldn't have even been here.
Let me put that. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead, Joe.
Well,
you wouldn't have been here because why?
Because I think this kind of thing could only be detrimental to the trial, and I think it would be our cause would be much better served if we waited until the trial was over and the facts could be aired. Because I think a lot of this debate is taking place over around a black box. A lot of things that we can't discuss because we don't know or can't be discussed.
Lisa Fithian, your response to that?
Well, a couple responses. I mean, Joe, Brandon was obviously living a double life. So you might have known one Brandon, but we knew another Brandon. And I have a lot of personal experience. The discord and aggression and violence and abuse are real. I experienced it personally. And a lot of other people have too, and more stories will come out. I agree. It's a shame that this is out, but Brandon is the one that released this publicly, not us. He was the one that released it. And when you release something like that and you say this and you say some of these things that are lies, you know, we're not saying that we're putting these things out, not to say he's a provocateur about when he started, it's because he's lying blatantly in the press. And yes, it will take years for this stuff to come out. The Freedom of Information Act, we don't know how long he's been doing it, but we know that he has showed up at every important organization in this area. He has showed up in the immigrant rights organizations, in the refugee organizations, in the prison organizations, in the anti-war organizations, and there's a pattern that we see over these years. And so that's my response, that unfortunately, as a result of this man, you know, these two young men are facing serious consequences, and he is walking away scot-free and coming off as a hero, and that's just not the truth. It is not the truth.
Well, frankly, I mean, it sounds trite, but Brandon is a hero. I think the reason he's been involved in so many things is because he cares very much and works very, very hard as an activist to fight for social justice.
To build his reputation and to make himself a prominent leader and the glory. And the truth is, I want to correct one thing. He was not a founder of Common Ground. He went down there, but his work at Common Ground was about building his name. The hard work of cleaning those houses and really was done by other people.
Brandon has done a great deal of hard work.
And he can be credited with some of the stuff.
Brandon is not claimed to be a founder of Common Ground. I mean, this was something that was said. Who said that? Anyway,
well, we're going to end with Malik Rahim, who is the founder of Common Ground Relief Collective. Yes. Your feelings today, as we speak to you in New Orleans, you worked very closely with Brandon Darby, as you heard from his own testimony, his own letter to the community, that he has been an FBI informant.
I'm going to tell you, Amy, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. It literally broke my heart because from the time that we found it, and I hate to, because Lisa is also a person that I love and respect. But Brandon was here from the very beginning. He was one of the founders of Common Ground. He was here. When we started Common Ground, Brandon was right here. He was out trying to find King. I don't know what happened. It was a lot of animosity. It was a lot of things that we had to deal with, like Lisa said, and always Brandon was at the forefront in it. You know, I feel, I mean, in retrospect, as I look back at it now, it's, you know, I feel guilty about a lot of things. That, one, I sent them over to Venezuela, and I've seen the mess that turned out to be. That I put him in a position of authority that was manipulated by others that refused to come to me with it because they knew that how close I was with Brandon. And maybe that was manipulated by him. But I knew from the very beginning that the Homeland Security had infiltrated us. I knew that when I realized that to be critical of FEMA response and as it relates to Katrina or the aftermath of Katrina, we took upon the wrath of Homeland Security. I was looking at it coming from many different ways, but God knows I didn't think it would be from Brandon. And that part of it have literally broken my heart again, you know, that this has happened. I know that it's been many people that left from Common Ground in frustration, and many of it was due in part because of Brandon. Many young ladies, many individuals that he has literally ran off, you know. It just tackles me. I couldn't read the whole letter. You know, I haven't been able to read it because of the fact that every time I do it, it breaks me down into tears.
Malik Rahim and Lisa Fithian, I want to thank you both for being with us. I also want to thank Joe England, a family friend of Brandon Darby, and Carly Dixon, member of the Austin People's Legal Collective, speaking to us from Austin. We have to break, and then we'll come back to our last segment. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. Back in a minute.
When you saw the buildings fall, or both cars with the final call, get your money dollar bill, y'all. Both ties with the final calls. Get your money dollar bill, y'all. To my folks on the picket line.